I'm delighted to be back here again at the Public Records Office in the Titanic Quarter. Today, the subject we're working on is called 29,200 stitches. You might ask what that is. That is the equivalent of one stitch every day over the past 80 years. On the anniversary of VE Day, I started a project called Stitch Your Bit, and we invited an audience and they joined me to sew onto a textile pieces of embroidery, names, numbers, dates, images that made them relate something personal to the Second World War. Over 100 people have contributed to this so far. We are stitching down some of the completed works, and we've got a group of wonderful people here today who've given up their time to come and help. Behind me on the other table, I've got a group of ladies who, on the 15th of August, it was the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Japanese prisoner of war camps and internment camps. I grew up watching television programs like Tenko. They were in one famous internment camp called Changi, and a group of girl guides and schoolgirls, a lot of them were still wearing their girl guides uniforms. They secretly made a quilt, and this quilt is on display at the Imperial War Museum. It's been beautifully preserved. To me, symbolizes how people work together. They made the quilt in secret, and they actually used like hems and lining of their own clothing on it. So on the piece that we're completing today, I've added a tiny scrap of a fabric of one of my dresses. We called this project We Are Not Forgotten, because the Far East prisoners of war, they were known as the Forgotten Army. They were liberated a long while after, and their recovery and repatriation took a lot longer. We Are Not Forgotten is based on a textile that I had that is now 80 years old. Where people have sewn, there's a badge with their name on. Around the edges is a lovely red cord with 3 red dots and a dash. That indicates da-da-da-da, which is the Morse code for victory. It's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony as well. And this was used over the airways for the Allies when VE Day occurred. I then have until next May to finish it, and then I will be gifting this to the Public Records Office as a place of learning, a place of sharing, a very, very community-based organisation, because this has brought communities together. People from all over Northern Ireland, not just Belfast, have come to join me on this project. I want to take this to every library in Northern Ireland. There are 96 plus travelling libraries. There's quite a Belfast focus in some of the context of this. It would be really lovely to find out other people's stories. Remembering things through stitch can be uplifting, it can be emotional, but there's a real sense of achieving something. So I'd just like to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for helping me stitch your bit. Thank you.
Now for the second figure.
Well, that's me for today. I've got my beret on and my trusty vanity case that contains all the threads. We have had an amazing day here at the Public Records Office in Titanic Quarter. Not only have we stitched our bit, we've worked on We Are Not Forgotten, and we have started the finishing process with 29,200 stitches, which again is the stitches of 80 years of a stitch a day. We've been joined by 50 people today. We've had lots of staff and members of the public who've just wandered in to take part. We've had joy, we've had interest, we've had some broken heart moments as well. There's such a mixture of emotions when you're working on a project like this. I really can't wait to see the completed piece, which will be next May, because on May the 6th in 1946, there was a big victory parade. They took a year to do that. So we will then be passing over this textile to them. So I want everybody who's been involved in the project to join in. I want to thank Prony and everybody who supported me from the bottom of my heart. And we will remember them. They're not forgotten. Thank you.